Hello my stamping friends, this is Oksana from funstamper.com, and today I wanted to show you really quick and easy funky fold card featuring expression in ink suite. So this is the card we're gonna make. We made it during my crafting happy hour at a local wine shop with ladies, and this one was actually everybody's favorite. So this card actually featuring the suite that you could find on page 96 and 97 of a new annual catalog. And it's the same one as you could see in front of the catalog. When I first saw, kind of came to this page and saw those images, I was absolutely fascinated. So this is my #1 pick from a catalog, and this is went first on my order as soon as I was able to order. So we're gonna use a stamp set, dies, and we're gonna use a paper. It's also coming with a special, it's an ephemera pack, bunch of gold leaves, die cuts, little sequins. I didn't use it yet, but I really wanted to jump and start using the paper and the actual stamp. So paper is amazing. It's all these gold pieces and kind of the alcohol ink type. It's just so pretty. Look at that. It's just like little could go a long way. And you know, both sides. So this side doesn't have gold. So I actually will have problems too. You know, I probably wanted to hoard the paper. I'm already thinking I need to buy 2 because I already used one for my class. I mean, paper is just gorgeous. And this fold that we're gonna use, what I like, it's kind of highlight designer paper, but you don't use a ton of it. All right, let's get started. So what we need, as funky fold, so you're working with a slightly different design. So this piece of paper is 5.5 by 4.25, and it's scored at 1 inch. So this is, after you fold it, it's become your standard piece. And you will need extra supplies. So you will take a piece of the same card base. I use pear pizzazz, and that one is 4 by 4. You could probably use 4.25, but then you will not know exactly how to, you know, which side to use. So I use 4 by 4 to avoid the confusion during the class. You will have a piece that is measures 5.25 by 4. This is your standard insert. And we will use 2 pieces for the sides. It's 1 inch by 4. This is why I mentioned I use this one, as I have 14 participants in a class. So I use a lot of designer paper, but this little strips goes a long way. And you will need another strip. You could use the same paper. I chose to use different pattern, and this is 5.25 by 3 3/4. So let's go ahead and adhere those pieces in place. And I'm gonna use my wet glue. You could use any adhesive of your choice to adhere those. So this one goes on a flap. Then you go ahead and you're gonna glue your pieces kind of towards both ends. I like that other side doesn't have kind of a lot of pattern, so I don't feel guilty to covering it. And it was a pattern like, oh my gosh, I don't know which side I wanted to show more. So pretty. Probably wanted that little leaf to peek, so I'm gonna do that. And gonna glue it inside of the card. We will set it aside and do stamping. So at this point, I suggest you to stop until you will do your stamping. So my white piece that we're gonna do stamping on, this piece, measures 3 3/4 by 3.25. So again, don't glue it quite yet because we're gonna be stamping and we're gonna be stamping off. So I always do my stamping before I glue the piece. So let's set it aside, and we're gonna start with this fabulous images. And we're gonna use today pear pizzazz. I want a kind of lighter green. We're gonna use new polished pink. Absolutely love that. We're gonna also use the pale papaya. I love it as a little filler color. It's not that overwhelming. And we will do a greeting. And this time I want to use thanks. So many times when you kind of do a collage, I do suggest you to start with your greeting first. So this way you kind of could stamp it around it. So I'll use that thanks. I do use a lot of thank you cards. And we stamp it on the right bottom corner. All right, beautiful. And then this image, you're gonna be just stamping. You don't want it to do too much because you want it to fill with the leaves. Look at that. It just gorgeous. Oh my gosh, absolutely amazing. That little stamp looking like that could create images. One stamping, you don't really need to do anything else. And I will kind of do little leaves here. Again, it's my problem. I often wanted to overdo it, and sometimes more is or less is more. And here's my scrap piece of paper. I will stamp leaves to be die cutted so we could pop it up, and I will also gonna go ahead and stamp a flower. You could use die cut, you could fussy cut, whatever you fancy in this case. And as I mentioned, I will use pale papaya to add a little bit more of background. That stamp also has a little splatter image, what I absolutely like to have on hands when you need to add little filler. See, what I was mentioning is that it's not that overwhelming. It's just such a nice touches. So you could add where you kind of have empty space. All right, so we have it. You will go ahead and die cut those pieces. I already have it die cut. So here's one set of leaves and a flower. And you're gonna go ahead and glue this one. You could probably do a bigger piece, but again, you will not see it. My glue is gunked up. Forgot to close it before. All right. So I always, when I glue, I just make sure where it will be visible piece, I have equal border, and I'm not worrying about the top because we're gonna be gluing it inside. Then we're gonna bring our card base, card front. And so this piece gonna go here. And as I mentioned before, it's slightly smaller because again, if you do 4 1/4, it may be a little bit too big. So what I do, I kind of centered the way I want to, kind of make sure leaving equal sides on left and right, and you align the bottom. And if you want to, you could just put your stamp. And again, as we're going to be opening, I really always like to use stronger adhesive. Your regular one, see how I apply it on top? And I'm going to apply it here on top as well. You could use your wet glue and then set it to dry. Again, for the sake of the video, it's much faster to use tear tape. I will do double, make sure it's straight. I think I have one chance here. Yep. You close it. And here you have it. So here is your little funky fold. Now we're gonna take our flower and our leaf. It's almost like, okay, maybe choices. Well, I'm just gonna go and put it maybe where I have empty space. So let's see. So just put few dimensionals, mini, big one, doesn't matter. I happen to have many right now laying around my table. What if I'll do this? Well, let's just do different. All right. Then I'll take my leaf, and I also punched a sprig because I wanted something gold, but I didn't want it to die cut. because to mirror. So I'm just gonna take this little sprig and set it up. So sprig gonna go with the glue. That die have a gorgeous die cuts as well, but I didn't play with them yet. So much cool stuff, so little time. Still was happy I was able to play with this one just for a class, and now it's gonna be sitting on my table and you will see more beautiful projects. All right, we just take this one and add the leaves. And again, you could just see which directions you want. You could probably have 2 sets. And here is a card. To make it even prettier, we will add those few of those golden one. I had a class and we actually use a lot of those, so this is my last one. And let's see if my champagne rhinestones will work. I think it will. Those one, in my opinion, maybe a little bit too big. I would like to have size smaller, so I'm gonna go on my next order, but I will use the champagne rhinestones, and I have plenty of those, couple packs laying around. Love those. And you're gonna add it to the centers of the flowers and just make it bling. Here you go. Here is the card that we create, little thanks. This is one of the cards that I don't do ribbon. Normally I like to put ribbon on everything. So here is what we just made, and this is previous one. That's happy birthday. Again, I just stamped sentiment, right? It's stamped a little bit differently. And here is another version, right? The flowers kind of all different way. So hope you like it. Visit my blog funstamper.com for actual dimensions of this card and for more ideas. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.